Welcome to Seattle, where it rains a lot of the time. The Evergreen State. Look at that. So, I think it's supposed to be raining this weekend. And we have to go, well, we don't have to, but we're gonna go to Comic-Con, which is this weekend, Emerald City Comic-Con. And it's gonna be raining. But, for Comic-Con this year, I'm going to be dressed as a Twi'lek, or Twi'lek, however you want to say it. It's actually pronounced both ways. There is no official way how to say Twi'lek. It's one of those. Because they say it in the Clone Wars show, whatever. I don't actually watch that show, but I've seen the episode. So you can't give me any crap for that. They say it both ways. Anyway, the point of this video is I'm going to be Aayla Secura for the Comic-Con this weekend. And I've studied and spent a couple of months putting that costume together. And I'm just going to share it with the rest of my viewers and costuming people. So this video is pretty much for the chicks. And all the chicks out there that have always wanted to be a Twi'lek costume. I'm going to say Twi'lek because that's how I say it. It sounds better. They want to be Twi'leks. And you want to look like a good Twi'lek because the pantyhose on the head thing, just, it looks terrible. Unless you, like, really spend a lot of time to, like, actually sew them up so they actually come to the point, you know, at the end, and it really doesn't look like you pretty much just stuffed some pantyhose and stuck it on your head. Because it doesn't look good at all. And, so I'm going to show you how to do an Aayla Secura, and then if you want to, you can, like, you know, do different other types of Twi'leks, because when you're doing a Twi'lek, the two problems you're going to run into, as I've witnessed trying to figure this out for, like, a good number of months now, is, in all my research, makeup is your #1 problem with doing a Twi'lek. You know, because it's expensive, and making it, like, look how you want. I have a little bit experience with makeup because I have worked for a year. I've taken a year-long class with theater. I've worked in the theater when I was a little kid, belongs to my mom, because my mother worked in the theater, like, all throughout her high school years and helping out little schools and stuff. So we have some, not like professional or anything, but we have knowledge on makeup. And then I dinked around with it because I'm an artist, so it's different, but I can sort of apply some artisty stuff to on the body. Sorry, I'm watching the rain. It's so pretty though. Look at the rain. Anyway, so I'm making Aayla Secura. This is Aayla Secura. If you are, there's kind of like 3 different versions of her. So if you're gonna go with Aayla, hello Aayla, you have to figure out which version, because there's Clone War, like the animated show, Aayla Secura, and then there's Clone Wars, like the movie, from the movie, I guess it would be, and then there's like comic book, and they all kind of like are a little bit different, because especially with the makeup department, like, I would classify more as like a comic book Aayla, because she's this type of a blue. And then I don't watch the Clone Wars, so I don't know too much about her, because I wasn't making a Clone Wars, like animated Clone Wars Aayla costume. So I went for the original, like, movie version, because I'm very into original stuff. So if you're going, let's say you're going with the movie like I did, you're going to want to use a lot of screenshots. So reference pictures. I have slowly built up a little collection of reference pictures, and if you're building one and you're like, holy crap, I need pictures, I can email them to you. if you send me a little message on YouTube, it's like, help me, I will send them to you. There's also a forum. Once again, there's like a forum for everything called the Twi'lek Celebration. This is by Pam. She's like the Twi'lek lady. And so she started it because she kind of started the whole let's be Twi'lek things. So Twi'lek Celebration, look it up, join it. Lots of help there. It's not terribly active because Twi'leks are such a hard costume to do. Not a lot of people bother to do them, except for the chicks that are like, gosh darn, I'm gonna be a Twi'lek. Then they, put through the energy to do all that. So look around on there. Not very active, but there are some chicks that'll like, everyone's very helpful, but there's not a lot of stuff to look at because there's so few Twi'leks around. So, and also Pam is your go-to person for a latex set of Luku, and support her because she's awesome. So she like makes casts of stuff, and I'll let her speak for herself. So go find her on there and talk to her. Which I think it's a fair price for everything. I thought it was actually kind of cheap considering the other stuff I've paid for costume stuff, and hers is a piece of artwork, really. So that's where you can get a nice sort of headpiece. Highly recommend her. Or you could try to make it yourself. Depends on how good you are with working with, stuff. Molding things and whatnot. I do have a video on my YouTube page about it was my friend. My friend made her own set of Luku using Crayola craft foam and like a bald cap, and I believe she took some fabric and then like cut it out into the shape of the Luku and just kind of like glued it all together and everything, which you can do that, and she talks about it in her video. That's all her. I just like the latex ones better because Pam spent all this time studying and really working hard to make it look really good. So that's my opinion about the Luku. And yeah, so I'll get into the actual costume thing. I'll have 3 parts to this video because Twi'leks are so weird and complicated, and I don't want to have like a 17-minute video like I did for my gunner, because I was just like, I'm gonna talk about it, go, because my camera still isn't working, so I still have to use a computer. So editing is kind of weird right now. So this is explaining it, and next video I will talk about just the costume by itself, and then after that I'll talk about the makeup, because there are not a lot of videos on YouTube about Twi'lek makeup, Twi'lek anything. I couldn't really find very many videos about people in Aayla costumes. But, so, yeah. And unless your costume is a non-canon, like if you make a Twi'lek and it's your own character, you invented this yourself, that's cool, whatever. But if you're doing a Twi'lek that's actually like a legit character from like a book, or like in this case the films, it's kind of a good idea to like research her and get to know the character a little bit. Because I saw another video where somebody was doing Aayla Secura and they didn't know anything about the character, and that just, it doesn't make you look good. Just saying, for the serious nerds, it just doesn't look good. So know your character, so you don't look, like, oh, I'm just wearing this costume because I look sexy, and that's it, Don't do that, because it doesn't look good. Okay, I'll stop talking now. Bye.